Well, you're not a good man, Arthur, but you're not all bad.
What is good, folks, and welcome back. And let me talk to y'all for a second, because what makes Toguro such an all-time anime antagonist is his parallel to Yusuke. Because Toguro is very much the dude that Yusuke could have turned into if his life was just slightly different. Yusuke was a troubled kid with a lot of baggage and had no outlet for his emotions except getting into street fights. That's all he knew how to do. And because of that pushed him away from pretty much everybody, because the school system failed him and just branded him a bad kid and didn't want anything to do with him. And most of his classmates did not want anything to do with him either and viewed him as a screw-up and a violent asshole. Toguro was already a violent person, but after a tragedy and watching his dojo get slaughtered, he just fully committed himself to a life of violence. After getting his revenge, he pretty much sold his soul to become a demon in order to mold himself into the absolute pinnacle of a fighter. A decision which pushed him away from Genkai, the only other person who truly gave a shit about him. So he just renounced his humanity and just dove headfirst into the criminal underworld as a gun for hire, because that's all he knows, that's all he's good at. He's good at beating the fuck out of people, so he just fully committed to it and forced himself into the best around. He was basically running that place like a kingpin. But slowly over the course of the years, he just mentally checked out because he's already at the top and he's beaten everybody. He has nothing to prove to anybody else, and he has no challenger that really pushes him. So what's the point? After all these years, his indifference eventually became boredom, and it eventually became his own self-destruction. Because by the time we meet him in Yu Yu Hakusho, he is looking for somebody, any fighter who is powerful enough to actually push him to try and is worthy of killing him. That kid being Yusuke Urameshi, a kid who has a lot of the same issues that Toguro did, the same indifference towards the world and the same violent nature and need to prove himself. But unlike Toguro, Yusuke actually has a network of people who give a shit about him and want his best interests at heart, people who push him to be better and not forget about his own humanity. Unlike Toguro, Yusuke actually has a reason to live. And Toguro accepted his place in hell because after all the terrible things that he's done, renouncing his humanity, betraying the people he's ever cared about, fully committing himself to a life of violence, he knows that's where he deserves to be.